So thank you, first of all, for being on Mindbloom, on taking the time to do this. This is great, and you're gorgeous. You're beautiful, brave, and kind. I mean,
thank you for having me. I am honored to be today. So thank you for having me as a guest.
It's beautiful. I want to ask you, Erin, first and off the bat, what makes your mind bloom?
So what makes my mind bloom would be, honestly, my children. I have 4 little kids and I have a husband, and they make my mind bloom. Ever since I was diagnosed with cancer in April, I have realized how fragile life is and how precious life is. And so they've always made my mind bloom to an extent, but really the depth now where it causes me to realize, wow, life is so fragile. My interactions with people and individuals are so special, and the way that we treat one another is really important. That's what we're here to, just be kind, and we're here to be brave.
Absolutely. You were diagnosed then during the pandemic?
Yes.
I did not know this. Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more. Erin, you don't have breast cancer. You have leukemia.
Correct. Yes. Acute Promyelocytic Leukemia is what I was diagnosed with on April 7th. And yes, it was at the start of the pandemic. And so it was both a blessing and a curse. It was good for the fact that everybody was canceling their appointments with a specialist.
So
I was
had
right in. However, I also, with the type of cancer that I have, it's very scary. In that first week, they were telling me that if you make it past this first week, then we'll go from there. And I was very worried hearing the word if, because I was in the hospital by myself. I couldn't have any loved ones, my husband, family, friends. Nobody was allowed. It was just me with the nurses and doctors. And that was a very scary, real thing that was very lonely.
So not only, oh my God, so not only you had your diagnosis and just this overwhelming change in your life overnight, and you were by yourself. Oh, because of coronavirus. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My youngest child at the time, which still my little Madeline, I was a nursing mother. So I had to stop nursing her, and she took her first steps while I was in the hospital. So my husband was so sweet. He called me and he said, I have a surprise for you. And I was on the 5th story of the hospital. So I was up very high. It wasn't like it was glass to glass like a lot of patients level see their loved window. I was from up above, and he brought her to the hospital, and on the sidewalk he called me on the phone and he said, watch. And she took her steps for me on the pavement, and I just cried. I was so grateful for being able to witness that I didn't miss out on her first steps of life, because I was in the hospital away from my loved ones during COVID and not being able to see them and be near them and be a part of those special moments. So I was very happy to be able to be a part of that and have that special moment, even though I was 5 stories up.
Oh, so brave. Oh. You, how did you have any symptoms? How did you get diagnosed?
Yeah, so around Christmas time of last year, I started not feeling well, but I thought I was tired. I didn't feel good. I started getting random bruises all over my body, but I thought I was just deficient in some type of vitamin or nutrient. And I thought, oh, I'm just a mom of 4 kids. This is normal to be tired, and maybe I'm just low on iron. And my husband kept telling me, go see the doctor, go see the doctor. And I'm the type of person, I take care of everybody else before myself, which I am learning to be different now. Now that the importance of taking care of yourself first, and your mental health and just your wellness. But we can get to that later as well. But he's just kept telling me, you need to go see the doctor. So finally I went in, and sure enough, they ran blood work, and my white blood cell count came back non-existent. And they said, you need to go see a specialist. There's something going on, and you need to see a hematologist to look further into your blood work. So I was able to get in the very next day, because all these patients were canceling with their doctors due to the scare of COVID. And I was so grateful, because I got in the very next day. They ran some tests. They ordered a bone marrow biopsy right off the bat, just to make sure everything was all right. And I got a phone call 4 hours later, after I got home from the doctor, saying that I had leukemia and I needed to go straight to the hospital, and that they didn't know when I would be able to see my family again, as that I wouldn't get to be with them. So it was very scary, and very, a lot of anxiety, I would say.
Were you what were you thinking as you were waiting those 4 hours? What crossed your mind?
Yeah, honestly, I kept telling myself it's probably just a disorder that I didn't know I had all my life, and we're just finding it now. There's no way it could be cancer. There's no way. I just kept shoving that little inkling that just kept coming into my mind that it might be cancer. And I was like, no, it can't be cancer. Not right now, not during this time. I have 4 kids. I've lived a healthy life, And so so when I got the call and they said that it was leukemia, I just cried, and my husband just cried. We just fell to the ground and cried and wept together. My kids realized that something was wrong, because they're young. They're 8, 6, 3, and then my little baby girl, she was 8 months at the time. And so they all knew that something wasn't right with mom, because she was super sad.
And I bet they still don't understand very well. No, I would imagine, especially the youngest.
Yes, yeah, they still, my older 2 understand a little bit, but not fully, because even still, they'll say, but mommy, you look healthy. Okay. Oh, well, mommy just lost her hair, but you're still you. You're just tired at times. You look. And so so that's really hard for them to understand, especially since I'm gone all at clinic obtaining treatments and everything. And so that is the hardest part, because on the outside, most of the time, even my family or friends, when they FaceTime me or call me, they say, you sound fine. You look fine on FaceTime, but I'm not. I'm very sick, and I get very tired, and am very ill.
So what is your course of treatment? You're now home.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was in the hospital. I was supposed to be there for 30 days, or actually 45 days. So a month and a half, or a month and a couple weeks. And I ended up being in the hospital for a week and a half. So that was a little amazing as well. So got home, and my course of treatment, it was chemotherapy every single day for the first 50 days, 45 to 50 days. So I've completed that, and now I'm on what they call the different rounds of chemotherapy. So I have 5 rounds of chemotherapy that I need to complete, and then intermittent between those chemotherapy rounds that they give me, I take an oral chemotherapy via pill. And that is very hard on my body. You can just feel the insides eating up, and it makes you very tired. There's a lot of really horrible side effects with that, with brain fog and dry skin and just all those awful things, tremors. So I love photography, and I can no longer photograph because my hands shake so much, and they're not steady enough to photograph a picture.